Hello, hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Fallout 4 NCR Lone Ranger. Since the last episode, I haven't been able to get back to Diamond City, uh, upgrade a few guns, drop off a lot of equipment, sell some things I don't need, buy more ammo, etc., etc. The only real important thing is I put Brotherhood on her coat. So she's got night tags on the front, Ad Victorium on the back, and the Brotherhood of Steel logo on her shoulder. Since I don't play in third person often, it probably wouldn't be seen until a conversation. I don't know when one of those are going to be coming up soon. So, felt the need to show you all that. So, let's get going. Having gotten back to Diamond City, the Ranger knew that there was another one of those
Move
Jackals
along.
named a Rat somewhere nearby. Thankfully, when she was fighting off them super mutants, she recognized, well, there was a sewer grate there. Perhaps. Sadly, there was a dead guard, but, well, perhaps that sewer is exactly what she was looking for. Unfortunately, there was some mighty loud gunfire nearby. Wasn't too sure what was going on, but figured whoever was there had it covered.
Good fight!
She heard some fighting and saw some super mutants. And of course, some creepy, creepy corpses. And she was glad she'd done picked up this
This shouldn't take long.
weapon that she found a while back. Kept it with her. Having a chance to take some bits and pieces from some other guns, turned it into a decent thing. Called it Commonwealth Justice. Plus, let her use a bunch of them 38 rounds she found. Another one of them creepy bodies. Well, she didn't have time for that right then. Of course, there's also some dead ghouls to worry about. Seemed rightfully so that the raiders were freaked out. There's a few things around that that could be useful. Most weren't, though. again, one of them raiders with power armor. Always a threat. Then there was that man named Rat she was looking for. Glad he could come out and play.
How many bullets? Shit.
One good thing about these raiders, and one of the worst things, of course, was that they were well armed. Meaning, taking them down was difficult. However, once you did, well, that was less of a problem. More things for you, of course. Now, seeing them barrels in that water, she figured that water was more than a little disgusting. She'd have to go quick. Save herself some pain and suffering. Whatever the raiders were doing down here was mighty creepy. She didn't really approve, but of course, ain't no telling raiders what to do. Of course, it was nice to see that a lot of them were dead already. Of course, finding a ghoul with a sledgehammer, that was kind of new. Turns out her choices in this maze were not made wisely. Have to backtrack a bit. Now, why these raiders were going to be down here, she didn't quite understand, or even could figure why, but they did, and they were here. Fortunately, they're dead now. Well, that feller Rat had a note on him. She figured she could read that. She had a second. Want to get out of these sewers first, though. Once she was out of that sewer, gave herself a second to find that note from Rat. I told these no-good fiends only to use a sewer entrance at night. Now that they've been spotted by super mutants. Forget me. If you're reading this, I'm toast. Sent Bender for help. Try to find him. Forget this, forget you, forget the Commonwealth. Should have stayed up in the capital Wasteland last year. The Brotherhood may have been heavy there, but this place is terrible. The only thing worse than dying in a Boston sewer is dying in the desert surrounded by deathclaws. Well, apparently Rat didn't find his accommodations too pleasing. Apparently we have to find a man named Bender. The name seemed familiar from the notes she read, but it was mostly at that containment shed thing, and unfortunately she knew nothing about. She'd looked for it in her travels, but at the moment she seemed to have bigger problems. Super mutant problems. Fortunately, she had the right tool for the job. Hearing the word arrogance come out of a super mutant just showed that these were not the dum-dums she was quite used to. Some of them could barely speak, let alone say the word arrogance, let alone understand its meaning. She was strangely impressed with these super mutants. Not that that was a good thing, mind you, but it was a thing.
Hey, you disappear! No fair!
Yeah, she figured these super mutants could just be left alone. Picked off a She picked off a few, but there was more there that she didn't really want to deal with. Having gone and done more of her part, she figured now, well, she could take a breath, try to find where the rest of them jackals were, and of course, help her Brotherhood of Steel friends. And of course, she did have that job to help that Cabot guy. Now, wherever he wanted her to go, it was quite a distance, but fortunately, she knew someplace that wasn't too terribly far. On the long way back up to the bunker, the Ranger had herself some time to think about what she needed to do to succeed. And the answer was simple. She needed to find more ammo. That was her biggest restraint.
curfew is in effect. Return to your home immediately.
Get out of my way.
Under the terms of the Martial Law Act, Section 12.J, those refusing to comply with a curfew order are to be pacified. Repeat, will you comply?
No.
Target has refused to comply.
Now, having to deal with a robot, she figured Commonwealth justice would be more appropriate. The robots of the Commonwealth seemed to run mighty tough. However, she did appreciate the quality and quantity of loot they dropped. Now, seeing cars up in a tree, that was unusual. She figured that was something to avoid. Besides, she had elsewhere to go. Ah, yes. Dead super mutants. The best way to find the super mutants. Of course, it did mean there was something around these parts that was capable of killing a super mutant. So she best keep her head on a swivel for that. That tall building in the not too far distance did catch her eye. And the shanty town near it, well, that was mighty interesting to see as well. So, curiosity got the best of her. She headed that way. Oh, whatever this place is, other than once probably a real nice shanty town, it was empty, nothing else, at least right now. Till of course she saw the raider.
Straight, rookie.
She was mighty impressed at how these raiders fell apart sometimes. Just dribbling down into green goo. Strangely creepy and yet satisfying. She'd seen one of the bodies be flung off to the side, but didn't see where it landed exactly. And she really couldn't leave the area without exploring that tower. I mean, it's what drew her here in the first place. So it was worth exploring. Besides, someone left a blood trail for her to follow. Well, there's a nice stack of explosives there. Sure, others around. But she'd leave the sparking machinery to its lonesome. Didn't really want to set anything on fire. Blow something up. She had no idea where all these raiders were coming from. Was none too pleased that they were there, however.
Incoming!
Thankfully, she picked up more than a few grenades in her travels. Great for when enemies were spitting close to each other. Really only left the one raider. One who had the heavy gun that scared her more than just a little bit. Now, while she was able to get more ammunition for her gun and put a scope on it, she still didn't want to have to waste her ammunition, but still, you had to do what you had to do. She's glad she also got herself a supply of stim packs. Again, she found these raiders to be exceedingly well armed, and that was more than just a little worrisome for the Ranger. She really didn't want to have to keep fighting raiders that were better armed than most of the peacekeepers around these parts. But of course, she was only visiting the Commonwealth, didn't live there, and wasn't too keen on how they did stuff, but it's what she needed to do. Now, heading off to where she was supposed to meet someone, she saw a rather sizable building that once had an impressive wall. Of course, in the last 200 years, it must have fallen over in some places, but still, overall, this place was mighty impressive.
Hi.
This place is off limits. You'd best move along.
Edward said you might know where to start looking for the package that went missing.
Oh, you're the new girl. So this package... Pretty sure we know where it is. The guys that shot Ben are holed up in the Parsons Creamery, just north of here.
Who are these guys? Raiders?
Sure, assholes with guns. Though it's weird that they're still hanging around so close. Kinda like they're scouting this place or something. I don't like it. I'm glad you're gonna finally get rid of them.
Well, her path was clear now. From the Parsons State Asylum to the Parsons Creamery. The Parson family must have been somewhat influential before the war. Have two businesses so different, yet so close. Of course, different meaning close in geography. But either way, she now had a purpose. And a direction. However, this is where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I hope you're enjoying my series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you, which is why I put out a video 7 days a week. If you are enjoying my stuff, then please, the usual YouTube thing of like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell icon, all that wonderful stuff to help my channel be big and strong, because every time you hit thumbs up or share is like having another bite full of Wheaties for my channel. If you'd like to support my channel in a more meaningful way, then please consider heading down to my Patreon campaign, linked down below. Patrons of Patreon will can get themselves a variety of really nice things, such as early access to all my videos, Patreon exclusive videos, which at the time of recording is a playthrough where I am a child of Adam, and chance to get there's a private Discord server where I'm also prone to putting production streams or other random trash streams, or even sometimes exclusive videos which are previews. But yeah, a lot of good stuff, and I do try to keep my prices affordable, especially after the big price fee scare they had. Well, anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you all next time.